Hey guys, welcome back. This is Attorney Jack from CruiseCasinoMafia.com, and this should be a fun one. So this video, it's Saturday, and I'm still getting a ton of response, which I love, in regards to what people thought of a video from 3 weeks ago. So it's this video right here, the Holy Grail Baccarat patterns revealed. This one really sparked a lot of interest. It's almost at 1,800, 1,900 views, and it was a cool video because it's kind of my pet project. It's if you haven't watched it, you should go back and watch this video before you watch this one. If you remember, this was a pet project of mine that revolves around a pattern or 32 patterns. And the 32 patterns are what would happen if you put exactly all the different variables or possibilities. If you put five results in a row, consecutive results, and then take out all the ties, for Baccarat, you will find that there's exactly 32 different patterns. And out of the 32, 16 are original, and then the other 16 are the opposite. So you can only lose if you play one of the five patterns and have to win once. You can only lose a pattern, a full five in a row results, if the death pattern happened, the exact opposite pattern. So that's the story. You guys can go back and look at the video. I've been getting all these emails about different possibilities because in that video I explained that I love the concept, but I was frustrated with the money management side of it. And today I'm going to show you something that's kind of interesting, and it's for you guys to play with and test out as well, everybody that had an interest in that video. And it's pretty fascinating stuff. So let's get right into it. Oh, by the way, I also want to thank all the new members this week that joined CruiseCasinoMafia.com. Don't forget, we're still running that huge lifetime membership discount. And on top of that, I can give you the promotion code for an additional $50 off, which is Mafia 50, Mafia 50, and the number 50, Mafia 50. Okay, for an additional $50 off. That discounted membership is not going to last forever because we're adding in new benefits on a regular basis, and over the next few weeks you're going to get the next benefit. So we're here to not just help you and provide casino systems and concepts, but we're taking this to a whole nother place where we're also providing passive income opportunities and all kinds of interesting stuff that revolves around having fun and making money. All right, so let's get right into this. It's pretty cool. So the beauty of what I'm going to show you now is probably even outside of the 32 patterns. It's something that many of you probably have not played with or experienced, because most of the YouTube channels, that's all they talk about is doubling up after a loss and martingaling. And you know how I feel about martingale. There are ways to use the martingale progression, but I try very, very hard to find any other way to use a recovery system that's not martingale in most aspects. So the original concept, again, here's just a 5 pattern. This is one of the 32 patterns, right? B, P, B, P, B. All right. And again, the only way that this pattern would lose if you were looking for a single win is if the pattern came exactly opposite of this, which would be B. Let's make this capital. That's making me crazy here. Hold on one second. You know how I get with this stuff, with the spreadsheets. That would be a P, you would lose. That would be a B, which is opposite, and you would lose. That would be a P, that would be a B, and that would be a P. So what would happen is that we would bet, we would shoot our bullets, all 5, and we would lose 5, and we would lose our session bankroll. So what was the session bankroll? So the session bankroll originally was a grand martingale. All right, a grand martingale, which means that you were doing more than doubling. Okay, so here's the deal: you would bet 1 unit 3 units, 7 units, 15, and 31. And when you won, you would win a unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, and 5 units. That's pretty good, right? That's the positive side of it. The negative side of it is you would be wiped for 57 units when the death pattern finally happened. Now, I've been rolling with this thing and playing with this as a pet project for months, and I can safely tell you that I've come around a little bit. It still doesn't feel comfortable to me, but for a lot of people that have been testing it, they say, listen, you've got to just live with the 57 unit death pattern because it can go 3, 5, 10, 15 shoes winning 20 to 25 units a shoe before you hit the death pattern, the 50, and lose the 57. So I've kind of come around a little bit that the Grand Martingale in the bigger scheme of things is okay. But I'm going to still tell you that I always feel like there's something else you can do that fits my personality and maybe yours even better. So let me show you something new. So we're still going to use the 5 pattern, but this time we're going to look at positive progressions. For a lot of you, you've never seen this or you've rarely attempted it. Okay, it's a slower, more methodical way to grow and to make money. So some people are just so addicted to martingale that they can't stand actually playing something that's more safe. All right, well, that's for you. That's not for the rest of us, I guess. So you're now going to have an option. There's the Grand Martingale, which we already know how to play that, right, with the 5 pattern. And then I'm going to show you 3 different versions of a positive progression. So first, let's talk about what a positive progression is. It limits this death tunnel that you go down as you're losing, all right? You're only going to go to the next step in a positive progression after a win, not a loss. So if you lose 3 in a row bets, you're only going to lose 1 unit per bet. You're not increasing. But when you win, you're going to parlay your bet and move to the next level. So how does that work? So let's look at positive progression number 1. So if we win our first bet, let's say we bet on banker here, okay? And there's a little tweak to this, but let's just go with the flow. This is a 5 pattern, and you're going to point out to me, I know, that this is a 4 progression. So let's just roll with this for the moment so you get the concept down, and then we'll put in an additional rule that we're still playing with. So I'm not going to tell you that rule is set in stone. All right. So what happens here? So we make our same 1 unit bet and we win. So we're up 1 unit. In number 1, well, actually in all of them, the first 3 steps are the same for all of these. So let's just keep going. So if we win our 1 unit, we're not going to stop. We're then going to bet 3 units, right? We won a unit, and now we're going to bet 3 units in total. And then if we win there, we're going to step back and bet 2 units. And then if we win, we're going to go to the final progression, which is 4 units. So how does this work out? So the first column here is what you would be making on each win, right? Total, right? And the second column is what happens when you lose at that point. All right, so let's take a look at this for a minute. It's so interesting to look at positive progressions because it's so different than what most people are used to. So let's assume we win on our first bet and we make our 3 unit bet. Well, we're now up a total of what? 4 units right there, okay? But what happens if we lost that second one? We would lose a total of 2 units, right? 2 units we would lose there, okay? 2 units, not bad, not bad. All right. But if we win on the second step, go to the third, and we win, we're now going to be up 6 units. Now, what happens here, because we dropped down, is that if we lose on the third tier, the third step, we still made 2 units. Do you understand that? We were up 4, we made a 2 bet, so we're still, even if we lose here, we still made 2. That to me is incredible. That's the positive side of the positive progression. Well, what happens if we make it to the 4th step? In number one, option number one, we're betting 4 units. If we win, we closed out this sequence with a 10-unit gain, a 10-unit gain. But in this option, if we lose step number 4, we still made 2 units. Okay, so let's count it up. Let's make sure we did that right. So we have 4, 5, 6. We're up 6. We're betting 4. We lose. We're still at +2. So this is phenomenal. Let's look at the second option. Okay, let's look at the second progressive option, positive progression. It's the same all the way until the final step. So everything looks exactly the same. But on progression number 2, we're betting 5 units in the 4th spot, right? And if we win, we're going to be up 11 units for the sequence. If we lose, we're still going to be up 1 unit for the sequence. Okay, because you're at 6 and you're betting 5, you're still up 1. All right, let's look at the final option. Okay, final option. And guys, you can stop the video and take a picture of the screen so that you understand this and can play with it and try this on your own. So the third option, same first three, the first 3 tiers, but in the 4th tier, you're betting 6 now instead of 4 or 5. So if you win the 4 bets sequence, you're going to be up 12 units. The problem with this sequence is that you're not making anything if you lose on sequence number 4, progression number 4. You're going to break even. Now, does that mean that it's not good? No, that doesn't mean that it's not good. This may be a little bit more aggressive, but you're going to have to test and try it out. Okay, so how do these 3 progressions figure into the 5 pattern deal? Well, this is the thing that we're still playing with. Now, I understand that we could create a 5th progression here, right? A 5th progression to add on. We're not going to do that in this video. You can certainly attempt to do that, right? You can certainly attempt to do that. And that may be a great way to go. But for right now, let's stick with the 4 progressions. So how do we play a 5 pattern, okay, if there's only 4 progressions? So we're still analyzing and playing with this. So this is going to be a lot of fun for people that like to do what I do and try and test and research and simulate. So I'm going to give you an idea as to what I've been doing the last few days, just playing around with this. What we're doing is this. We're going to wait until the first bet. It's a theoretical bet. So we're not actually making a bet, right? We're going to watch the first one in the pattern. And if the first one in the pattern loses, then we're jumping in with the 4 steps. Does that make sense? We're waiting for a first step loss, and then we're jumping in. Now you may say to me, why? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I can go either way on this. So I'm not going to tell you that I'm gonna put myself on the line here and say this is the only way to play it. This is the way we're testing it right now. My feeling is that you now have 4 shots for this not to be the death pattern, as opposed to jumping in after a win. And I'll tell you why. If you remember the original video, I stated that the whole concept here was that you would win at least once, right? At least once in the 5 pattern. This 5 pattern concept does not guarantee you multiple wins, right? I said that and I still stick behind that. That's the problem with doing anything that requires you to win more than once. That's the aspect of the beauty of this when you play with the Grand Martingale, as much as I hate this. All right, so I'm allowing the loss to happen, okay, the loss to happen in the hopes that this 5 pattern is not the death pattern, which means I'm going to win on any of these. So we're still playing a 5 pattern, but we're only betting up to 4 times. Okay, up to 4 times. So I'm kind of cheating in a way, right? All right, so let's kind of get a feeling for this. Let's play with this. So which one do we want to use? I'm gonna use today I'm going to use the 1, 3, 2, 4. Not because there's any logical reason. I'm just going to use option number 1, 1, 3, 2, 4. All right. And I've already created and put in the patterns like we normally do. So the patterns are already on my scorecard. All right. So let's move this over. And let's just do a little bit of a run through. Obviously, I am not trying to tell you that um, this is a complete analysis. I'm just giving you a run through, and then you guys can do a snapshot of those three and give it a shot yourself, and let me know how you feel and what tweaks you would make. All right, so let's get going. So here we go. So this is a brand new shoe on Wizard, right? And we're not going to be betting here. We're not going to bet here. So let's just deal the cards. Okay, great. So a player won here. So we did not win. So we're going to put an X here. Okay. And now we are going to bet. All right. Let's put our number here. This is a 1, 3, 2, 4, right? That's our sequence, 1, 3, 2, 4. So now we're stepping in and we're going to bet 1 unit on player, which is the second result in this 5 pattern that we already had put in. So we're going to bet 1. So let's go ahead and just use $25 chips. It'll be easier. So we're going to bet 1 on player. And we lose. Okay. So that's going to be a loss, right? That's going to be a 1 loss. Okay. And that's going to be an L there, right? So now we can't move up because this is a positive progression. So we're still going to be betting 1 because we're only going to move up on a win. So the pattern tells us to bet for player again. So this makes it really easy. We're just going to bet another quarter on player. It's a tie. We're going to repeat. And we lose again. Okay, that's fine. Notice, though, that we're keeping ourselves close to break even, right? Close to break even. We're just going to keep putting a 1 here. We're not going to add them up. Well, here we go again with my favorite thing with the spreadsheets. Okay, hold on. Why do I always have a problem? Why? Why me, right? Okay, there we go. So we're just going to put single losses because we're never going to have more than a single loss, okay? So we're just taking ourselves through this. And now, once again, we haven't gotten past number 1, so we're still going to be betting 1. So here we're going to bet 1 on player again. That's what this calls for. But notice we're not getting crazy with a martingale or anything like that. Okay, so we got a win. So we're going to capture that win. We're going to put a 1 here. Come on. Okay, we're going to put a 1 here, right? That's a positive 1. Normally I color it in. Let me see if I can do that real fast. Normally I color it in like that. There we go. We locked in a positive. Okay, so now we're actually going to play the 3 bet, right? So now we're going to bet 3 on banker. Now, let me tell you something before we go any further here. There are a lot of different nuances to what we can do once we get comfortable with building a rule set for using the positive progressions, right? We could stop here and say that's the end of this pattern because we only have 1 more left. We're just going to play it through. We're just going to play it through. So now we're going to bet the second progression, which is 3, and it's calling for a banker. So this is going to be a 3-unit bet. And we win. Okay. So that's a 3-unit bet. So we just won 3 units. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Okay. And this is a little bit of a tweak and you may like it, you may not. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to start over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to start over with the next 5. And the reason I'm telling you that is we have 4 captures and 2 losses, which means that we won this pattern with 2 units. Why push the envelope? So I'm going to play this super safe. So what I'm saying is if we have an early win, we can push it to the 3rd progression and maybe the 4th progression, but I want to lock up wins when I can, okay? And that's something that you can build your own rule set. So here we go. So once again, we're going to take our free hand and see what happens. Now, again, you do not have to do this. You can keep going in the positive progression. All right, so that's a player, which means that we are going to be able to get right in here because we did have our one loss to start with. All right, so here we go. So this next pattern that I pre-wrote in has a player here. We're going to do a 1 unit bet as always. And we win. So there we go. So that's a win. We're going to lock up the unit, right? We're going to lock up the unit. We're going to color it. Why did that happen to me? Whoops. I know I'm being completely anal here about this. I know, guys. I know. I'm a pain in the neck, right? Who cares what color it is? Okay. All right. So there we go. So we locked in another unit. And obviously we did this on our first possible attempt. So we're going to play this one and move on to the second called for progression, which is 3. So this one calls for a banker. So we're going to bet 3 units on banker, which is what our progression tells us to do after a win. That's a $75 bet here. Obviously, it could be $1, it could be $5, whatever you guys are playing. And it loses. All right. So that's great. So we can take a look and see where we're at. That is a 3 loss, right? 3 loss. And this is just a process. Don't get carried away with where we are in a small sampling. So we won one here. So we're down -2 really in this instance, right? We're down -2, but we don't want to look at the net right now. All right. So here we go. So we're not moving up like we would in a martingale. We're going back to our 1 unit bet. So here we need to bet a banker for 1 unit. I'm just trying to give you guys a flair for the, that's a loss, for how positive progressions work and how they can be utilized with the 5 pattern, with the 32 pattern deal. Okay, we're going to be betting another 1 unit. And see, we're only down 4 here. If you were martingaling like crazy, your heartbeat would be going crazy. You'd be going nuts. This is a process when you use the positive progression. It's no big deal. So here we go. We're betting another banker because that's what the pattern tells us to do. And we lose. Okay, so we lost 3 in a row here. All right, 3 in a row. In reality, we never had any monster bets, right? We won our first bet here. So in reality, we're down 4. We're down 4 here for this segment, if you want to look at each one as a mini game. All right, we just keep rolling on. So let's go. No stress on our bankroll, nothing to worry about whatsoever. The biggest loss we had is a -3, and that was only after we had a +1. All right, so let's keep going. So this is our free hand. And again, you don't have to do a free hand. This is the way I'm playing it. All right, so that's a banker. So again, that's a first loss, which is kind of interesting because to tell you the truth, normally we win a lot of our first bets when we're playing the 5 pattern by itself. So this has actually been very interesting. Okay, so now here we are with our real bet because we did lose the first one. So that signals us to go in with our real bet, which in this case would be a banker. It's a 1 unit bet, and we win. Okay, so we're going to put a win. We're going to put a 1 here, right? And of course, I'm going to waste all the time as usual by doing the green because you know I can't resist, right? Okay, there we go. All right, so now it's early enough here that we're definitely going to give it a shot for at least a second win, right? Minimum of a second win. So now we're going to make our 3 unit bet on banker. And we win. Okay, 3 units. Okay, so here we go again. This is where it's up to you to make your own set of rules, right? We have 2 left here, so we could play out the progression by playing the 2, and we're going to do that this time, all right? So we're going to now bet the next progression would be 2, right? 1, 3, and then you go back to 2. Because we know we've already locked in We can't lose money now, right? We're locked in. So we're going to go ahead anyway, and we're going to do this. So we're going to play here the 2 on banker. So that's a $50 or a 2-unit bet. It's a tie. Whoops, hit the wrong button. Okay, and we lose. All right. So watch how this works now. We lost a 2-unit bet. Okay, we lost a 2-unit bet. But we made 4. So this is a positive of 2, right? So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let this one go because there's only one more left of this pattern. Okay, we're just gonna give it a free hand, and it's a banker, which would have won. So we would have made 1 there if you're keeping score, right? If you're keeping score. So we're gonna put a W there or a no. You know what? We'll just put an NB for no bet. All right. And now we're going to roll down and we're going to do our free hand to start the new 5. And that would have won. Okay, that would have won. So under my rule that I'm playing with right now, we would not go in. We would wait for a loss. So we're going to do another free hand. And that would have won. Okay, we're going to do another free hand. And that's why these rules need to be tweaked. I'm more concerned, there's a loss. I'm more concerned with trying out the positive progression and then working in these triggers later on. So what I'm showing you now is simply what we're doing during the testing, or what I'm doing during the testing. So now that triggers us to go in here. Okay, but we've only got 2 left of the pattern. All right. Because these were wins, right? These were wins, so we couldn't go in, and then this was a loss. So we're going to go in here. We're going to jump in, and we're just going to keep ourselves rolling here. So we're going to do our 1-unit bet on player, and we lose. Okay? And again, it's just a -1, no big deal. And we're going to do our final bet here, which is again a 1-unit bet on player, because we obviously are not progressing up. And we win. Okay. So what really happened there? That basically broke us even for this pattern, right? That's all that did. Now, if you wanted to be aggressive, you could roll this win into the next pattern. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep things fairly close to the original idea of the magic being in the pattern itself and not rolling it over. That was the big problem I had with a lot of the different ideas people threw at me. You were really rolling big time from one pattern into the next. So the magic of the 5 pattern, I thought, was really getting lost. That's just me. All right, so we're going to do our free hand. And it's a banker, so that would have been a loss, right? So that triggers us to be able to go in with our first bet on player, which is what our pattern called for here. And it's a loss, right? So that's a -1. And we're now going to bet again. We're still betting 1. This time we're on banker. And we lost. And this is the way a positive progression works. You're not losing too much. You're trying to stay as close to break even as possible. Okay? It's not sexy. You're not winning and winning and winning because of crazy martingales. You're betting slow and methodically. And by the way, if you haven't already figured it out, your bankroll to play this is so much less than the Grand Martingale or anything else for that matter. Okay? So here we go. So now we're betting, we are betting on player for 1 because we're not progressing. And we win. Right? So there's a 1. And again, here's the deal. We had 2 losses and 1 win. So we're not in the hole much. We're not forcing ourselves to get a profit when things aren't going our way. That's what this accomplishes. It doesn't force the profit. So this is the way to look at it, okay? These are mini games. That's the way I look at the 5 pattern, just so that you know, it's a mini game, okay? So now we can play one more, which why wouldn't we, right? So now this is a 3-unit bet on Banker because we won. So let's go. Let's do it. And we lost. All right. That's going to happen. So that's a -3. Okay. So let's move on to the next pattern. And we're going to look for our free hand. And that was actually a winner, so we can't bet there, right? We're looking for a loser. Okay. Yeah, we're looking for a loser. We need a banker here. Yep, and the banker comes. All right. So that triggers us to jump in here with a player bet. We're back to our 1 bet. And we win. Okay, that's a +1. And that's a green. Okay, there we go. All right, and now it calls for our second progression, which is the 3 bet, right? So we're going to bet a 3 on banker. And we lose. Okay, that's the way it goes. So that's a -3. And we're back to our single bet on player. And we win. Okay, so again, you have a choice, okay? And for purposes of making this easy, we're not going to go to the 3 bet here, okay? And you guys can test and see how well that works by crossing the line, so to speak, and going into the next pattern. It may be great, but for right now, I just want to test this on the easiest way possible. So for this pattern, we ended up losing 1, right? We ended up losing 1. We won 2 and we lost 3. So this pattern is a -1 pattern, right? This pattern was more than that. This pattern lost more than that. And we just keep rolling along. So let's do one more. Let's do our free hand. It's a tie. And it's a player. So that signals us that we can jump in. All right. So we're now going to bet a single unit on player. And we lose. All right, now we're going to bet a single unit on player again, because of course that's what our pattern is telling us. And we win. Whoop. Okay, so we're on to our second progression, and we haven't won a lot of these in this game right now. But that doesn't matter. This is just a small sampling. So anybody who tells you that they've learned anything from a 15-minute video is ridiculous. You have to test and test and test. I'm just showing you what I'm currently doing with this 32 pattern. So we're betting 3. We're on our second progression, and we're betting banker, right? Yep, banker. And we lose. So we're not winning a lot of those second progressions at the moment. And I have done several of these, and I have won a lot of those second progressions. So it's just the way that this shoe is turning out. And you've got to be prepared for the grind shoes and the shoes that don't work as well. All right, so we're back to a single bet on banker. But I wanted to do the video to introduce positive progressions. So that's really one of the major reasons for doing this. So that's a single loss again. All right. So far this shoe has been tough. It really has been, because we're not winning any of the seconds. And as you can tell, you know, when you look at this, if you win the second one, you're gold, right? You're gold, because at that point you're not losing. And we're just not winning enough of the second ones on this shoe. But we're not getting down in the hole tremendously, and that's the point of the positive progression. So if we go on a tear and the wave becomes positive and we start winning first and second ones, things turn around really quickly with this. So let's go ahead and do another free one. And we're at 34 minutes. So I'm going to do just a little bit more because I think you guys are getting the hang of it. So that's a banker. So that signals us to be able to jump in. And it's possible, guys, that maybe in reality, I shouldn't be waiting for the loss, right? But if you don't wait for the loss, we only have a 4-step progression, and this is a 5-step pattern. So there are other options, like I said, of how to do this. It's just that this was the way that I wanted to show you guys in this video, but definitely try it any which way you think may work out. So here's another +1. I mean, not a +1, a 1-unit bet on player, and it's a win. So maybe we will actually get our second progression win, which we haven't been getting in this shoe very often. I think we only won one, but we'll take a look. So here we go. Now we're betting 3 units on player. Nope. Once again, we lose the second one. How do you like that? That's kind of unfortunate, but it's the nature of the game. So now we're back at our 1-unit bet, which is banker. And you can tell that if we won any of those second ones, what a difference it would be in the shoe. So you've got to really simulate this over a lot of shoes to really get the feeling for how this works out. Okay, that's a loss. But again, the losses are always going to be -1, right? They're always going to be -1. You're never going to lose more than 1. And that's the benefit of this. So we'll do one more here, which is another single. And notice how we're not progressing or doing anything crazy. So here, we had 3 losses in a row here. Interesting. Okay. But we did start with a win here, right? So this is 5 units down, but we won a unit here. So it's really a loss of 4 units in this sequence here, right? So far, this shoe has been pretty brutal. We'll do one more. And this is our free hand. And this is just illustrating to you guys another way of playing the patterns. And we can continue to play games with this and tweak it up a little bit. There's lots of rules you could add to this, but I'm just opening the door so that you understand what can be done that is not a negative progression, that is a positive progression. So this is a 1-unit bet on banker, and we win. Okay, here we go again. Are we ever going to win the second bet? It's been a long time since we've won that second progression. Don't ask me why. It's just sometimes that's the way some shoes go. In other shoes, you can win the second progression over and over again. So here we go. So we're going to bet 3 on player because that's what the pattern calls for. Oh my God, we won. Unbelievable. How do you like that? We won a 3rd-step progression. I mean, a 2nd-step progression. Unbelievable. So we've made 4 in this. So obviously we're going to bet now the next one, which is the 2. So we're going to bet 2 on banker. So maybe you guys will see what it looks like. Nope, you will not see what it looks like. All right, but here's the beauty of it. We lost 2 there, right? That's a -2. But we still made money, right? We still made money here because we won. We only bet 2, but we were up 4. So this is a +2, right? This is a +2. So what I've been doing here is taking the free hand and then moving on. So here's the deal. You can see the way that this shoe played out. All right? You can see the way this shoe played out. This is a winning segment. This is a losing segment. This is a winning segment. This is a break even, which I absolutely love. This is a loser, right? What did we lose here? We lost 3, 4, 5. We lost 4 units here. Okay. We lost 1 unit here, right? Because we lost 3, we won 2. We lost 1, no big deal. This wasn't a good one, right? This is a 4, 5. We lost 4 units here. Again, you're not in the hole much. That's the whole point, right? If you would have hit any of these second progressions, this would have been a golden shoe. We just didn't hit them here, all right? And then this last one was a winner, right? This is a 4, minus a 2, and we made 2 here. So do you see how you're plodding along? You're grinding it out. This would not have been a grind if we would have hit any of these negative 3s. Look how many negative 3s we lost. We won 1. Let's go to the beginning. Okay, we won 1. We lost 1. We won 1. So that's 2 wins and a loss. That's 2 and 2. That's 2 and 3. That's 2 and 4. That's 2 and 5. So 2 second progression wins and whatever I just said, losses, right? So in this shoe so far, we're not hitting those second progressions. The whole shoe looks dramatically different when you hit those second progressions, but we're not down that much. You didn't bust your bankroll. And that's the beauty of the positive progressions. So let's go back here. So if you guys didn't get a chance to take a picture of the screen or write them down, these are the different options. We really never did get to the 4th progression, right? We didn't really get to these higher progressions. And you need to play with this and you'll get a better feeling for what that feels like, because when you actually play it the full way and you get to the 4th progression, look what you're making on a win. 10 units, 11 units, 12 units. We didn't really get there because I think we cheated at the beginning and we stopped when we hit the 3. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, here it is. In this situation, it was at the end of the pattern, so I didn't go to the 3rd one, to the 3rd progression, right? And I think, let's see. Yeah, and here we did go to the 3rd progression and we lost. So we really didn't even get to go to the 4th progression, which will happen quite a bit when you do the sampling. So that's it for today. Wanted to introduce positive progressions to you, and also wanted to revisit the 32 pattern deal, which is still something that I keep toying and playing with. I don't have it correct yet, but I'm getting there because this positive progression concept eliminates at least what I don't like that much of, which is the Grand Martingale. It works with the Grand Martingale, but I'm trying to find an alternative. All right. So go back and watch the other video if you didn't watch that, the Baccarat pattern video. And then now you can put this little twist on it by trying out the positive progressions and tweaking the rules. And we'll see you on the next video. Remember, guys, we have so many new things happening here at Cruise Casino Mafia. Check out the website. If you're interested in becoming a Mafia member, go ahead and join now. Use that extra promo code MAFIA50 to get an extra $50 off while that's still lasting and while the lifetime membership is still available. We're giving you guys the crypto updates every couple of weeks. That's worth its weight in gold. The crypto over the next 18 to 24 months is going to pay unbelievably. That's going to be worth just as much or more than any of the casino stuff that we're giving you as well. We're adding 1 to 3 new systems a month on average, and we've just added the casino minions concept to be able to give you the ability, if you have a working existing system that you have tested out and you really like and you've beaten it up already, we can play it for you, which means that we're creating the potential of a passive income stream by hiring the casino minions to play it for you. If you have not gotten your introductory document and the FAQs, that's all you need to do is email casinominions@gmail.com, and I can give you, I can answer any questions on Casino Minions, the service, and I can provide you with the FAQs and the introductory document. If you choose to go forward, we're having discounted packages right now during the beta launch of that service. So just contact us. We'll go from there. But remember, we're not providing you with a system. That is on you. We are simply virtual assistants playing in your online casino account. We are not providing you with the system. That is coming from your own research and evaluation that you're providing that to us. All right, any questions you have, you know where to reach me. Ask in the comments section. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, feel free to always email us. If it's about Casino Minions, just email at casinominions@gmail.com. If it's about Cruise Casino Mafia membership or anything else, you can go to the website. There's a click on the top, like a support, and you can send us a support ticket or whatever it is from there with any questions you may have. We're having a great time. Loving all the new members that are joining. A lot of positive people that are adding to the community, giving us their thoughts, discussing their systems, and just making everything better and better. We've got some amazing stuff coming, by the way, outside of the benefits that I've already told you about. There are some things coming in the next few months that are just going to be incredible. So keep watching the videos here. Make sure if you have an interest in learning more systems, in taking this to another level, you're going to want to join cruisecasinomafia.com now before the lifetime membership discount it goes away. All right. If it's not for you, that's perfectly fine. Continue to watch and have fun with the YouTube channel and our Instagram. And we will see you on the next video. Have a great weekend. Bye bye.